Hello, this is Dr. Alan Yim. In this video, I'm going to show you how to write the chord progression for a common chord modulation. So in the last video, I showed you how to find the common chords that you can use to modulate. And I think I'll use one of the ones that we did from an example from the last one. So we're going to modulate from F minor to E flat. And I think in that video, if I recall, we had two possible common chords. Let's see if I can remember one of them. Well, one of them obviously is F minor. So F minor, and let me write the chord as a chord symbol. So I'll write it like this. F minor, okay, will be the common chord. So in one key, in F minor, it's going to be 1, and in E flat, it's going to be 2. Now, whenever you're writing a phrase that modulates, or we want to establish the key. So we're just going to write a phrase. We want to establish the key, we want to modulate, we want to show where the modulation takes place clearly, and then we want to make sure that the listener knows what the second key is. So I'm going to show this in the most simple way possible that I could think of. And it has actually kind of 4 components to it. So the 4 components are tonicize, starting key, 2, use a common chord, so write the common chord, and 3, you're going to, after the common chord, you have to write a non-diatonic chord, a chord that is not diatonic in the first key, because if you write a chord that is in the original starting key, well, that could be the common chord. All right, so after common chord, write a non-diatonic chord to the first key. That's not really the best phrasing for that. So I hope you understand what I mean. Number 4, tonicize the new key. Alright. Now I used this one word several times, and that is tonicize. Super important that you know what this means. When you tonicize something, you're basically making that harmony into the tonic, the one chord. So how do you make a chord sound like the one chord? So the easiest way to do this is to go 5-7-1. Because the dominant seventh normally only occurs in one place, as soon as we hear this, you hear that note as do. In fact, I might be able to just play a 5 chord somewhere, and you could probably sing do, right? Because we're so used to hearing that 7th chord sound, and we know that the 7th resolves down, and the leading tone resolves up. Those half steps in major make it super clear, and in minor it's not so different. I mean, it's a little bit different. So if I go to minor here, sorry. The only difference is that one of them has a whole step instead of the half step. It's 4 going down to the flat 3. Either way, you probably can identify the tonic by using this sequence. There are other ways of tonicizing, of course. You could just really emphasize 1 for a long time. You could just hold the 1 chord out and put it on the main beats, and eventually the listener will recognize that is 1, So those are probably 2 ways of doing it. The first one's the most common. Alright, so we'll use the first method. And actually, it's a good idea to start with a 1 chord to make it really clear, and the listener will have no confusion about what that harmony, what's happening. So I'm just going to write 1-5-7-1, and this is where we tonicize, okay? So now, again, tonicize means that we know that F minor is the tonic. Okay, it's the tonic chord. It's also Do. And then we would go C7, F minor. So if I asked you to sing that, if I played the... If you can't sing Do after that, then you need to practice listening some more. Alright, after this, I said I was going to use F minor as the pivot chord. Wow, I actually should use something different, but I don't remember what the chord, other common chord was. It would be nice to use something other than 1. So let me think about this for a second. Okay, so 2, 3. Okay, another one was A flat. Maybe that would be a better choice. So I'm going to use that instead. A flat in the key of F minor is 3. So I'm going to write a 3 here, and I'm going to put A flat. 3 is also now in the new key. So the new key is supposed to be E flat, and it's 4. Okay, the whole point of this is that this chord here, which we call the pivot or the common chord, it provides kind of a point where it covers up any bumps. So this makes the modulation very smooth, and the listener sometimes is not even aware that the key has changed, at least maybe not consciously. So pivot or common chord is meant to be a very smooth modulation. And from here, we have to go on and we have to use, after this 4 chord, something that is not diatonic to this. Okay, so what would be a typical chord after 4? Well, maybe 5 or 2 or 1. Okay, so I don't know. If we use 1, well, that's not going to work because, oh well, actually 1 would work. I don't know. It could be anything, really. Okay, I'm going to use 1. And the reason why I'm going to use 1 is because I said I was going to make this as short as possible. So if I use 1, E flat, well, first of all, E flat is not diatonic to F minor. It's 7, but it's not a chord that you would find there after 4 like that. So we're going to try this out and see if it works. Okay, so I'm going to put 1 here, 7, 5, 7, and 1. And in the key of E flat, continuing on, E flat, B flat 7, E flat. And of course that B flat 7, that's going to really seal the deal. You're going to be able to tell right away that we're in the new key. So we're starting in F minor, and we're trying to get to E flat. You can hear those are 2 completely different keys. Now I'm just going to play the chords. I'm not going to make anything fancy here, but let's see what this sounds like with that pivot chord in the middle. Okay, I shouldn't put the 5th in the top there, because now it feels like we're going to A flat. I know why that happened. So I'm not A flat in this case is maybe A flat is not the best choice. But what's happening here is this is sounding like 5, and then this is sounding like 5 of 5. It's the rhythm that I put here because the rhythm of the cadence isn't right. All right. So this is a little bit ambiguous with this major A flat chord. You know, F minor. Now that I tried this, because you'd have to be a little bit careful with the rhythm. What it sounds like to my ear is this. So when I went like this, that sounded a little bit like maybe this is 5 and 5 of 5. And then land in an A flat because of the number of chords. Maybe I don't know why, but this is maybe not the best choice. So let's try something different. Okay, it's a possibility. You would have to massage this a little bit because this progression here is a little bit ambiguous at the end with all these major chords. Okay, so what happens if we use F minor? See if this is any better. And I don't guarantee anything at this point. But I'm going to put as the pivot chord 1 up here, and down below 2. Let's see if this is better. So how about 2? Let's try 164. Alright, so we're going to keep F minor there, and then I'm going to try E flat over B flat, B flat 7, and E flat. Alright, technically this is the way you do it, and okay. This time I'm going to put the tonic in the soprano because that's one of the problems. Oh, sorry, I got to repeat the Fs. Okay, not the greatest. You would have to rewrite this and of course make a nice melody with a bass line, but this is essentially how you create common chord modulation. So let me recap. Again, on the left side here, you must tonicize the starting key, and that's this part over here. Then you have to write a common chord, which you find by writing out all the chords in both keys and seeing which ones have the same root and quality. And then finally, on the right side of this, you tonicize the new key, and you have to make sure that this chord here, whoops, is not diatonic to the first key. So, very important, this one here, you have to write a new chord, not diatonic to the first key, so that you can hear that something has happened. And of course in this E flat over B flat, that's a very unlikely chord in the key of F. It would be 7/6/4. So, again. Okay, that's it for this video. You will have much better chord progressions than this. This is just a condensed short version, and I look forward to hearing your compositions. Thanks for listening.